Folks, before I start the video, I just want to say I got a new Twitter, so go fucking in the description and follow me, fuckers! Okay, let's begin. Punk Revolution now! Hey everybody, today we're going to be reviewing frickin' Have a Nice Life. Have a Nice Life, this is their third album, Sea of Worry. For those of you unfamiliar with Have a Nice Life, let me fucking tell you, their debut album, which came out in 2008, Death Consciousness, is an album that is bigger than life itself. That album, in my opinion, is one of the best albums of this century so far. The way it masterfully blends a lot of influences together of shoegaze and post-rock and post-punk and industrial, a ton of these different kind of heavy, dark genres, bringing them all together into an intensely atmospheric, massive, dense, powerful, depressing, emotional, beautiful album. It is insane. This is an 80-minute long album that feels like it's literally just going inside of someone who's having a depressive existential crisis and just pulling it out and displaying it to the world so everyone can see how ugly and miserable it is. It's just such an emotional record. It brings you to a whole new fucking universe. I could go on. That album meant a lot to me when I was younger. It opened my eyes to a lot of different genres and it inspired me a lot to make music. So, pretty amazing debut album. This is their third album. Their second album came out in 2014, titled The Unnatural World, which continued the doomy, gloomy atmosphere, a little bit less ambitious than their debut, but still a cool album. So let's see what the fuck they're doing with their freaking third album, Sea of Worry, in 2019, 11 years after Death Consciousness. Let's start taking a look at the album cover. I don't give a fuck about this album cover. I just want the frickin' Death Consciousness album cover, which was fucking sick. It features a fucking dead person who committed suicide on the album cover. Now that's a good cover. I don't give a fuck. I just want more fucking death. I just want Have a Nice Life to make Death Consciousness again. Death Consciousness is a masterpiece. Make more Death Consciousness. Please, Have a Nice Life. I don't give a shit about anything. I don't give a fuck. I don't care if it's been 11 years. Make it again, even though it's impossible to make that good of an album twice. I don't give a fuck. Alright, folks, it's been 11 years. I'm going into this album, Sea of Worry, with an open mind. I have no clue what the fuck they're gonna do. I put it on, and immediately I'm getting vibes. I'm getting indie rock, post-punk, maybe even a little bit of post-punk revival vibes. Post-punk that's a little bit more accessible, maybe some like gothic rock influence, like from The Cure, or like Christian Death or something like that. And it's just a little bit more fun than anything else they've done. So obviously I'm a little nervous because I love Have a Nice Life for their dark, doomy gloominess, but now they're doing something that sounds a little bit more on the fun side. Obviously I'm a little not sure, but when I finished the album and re-listen to it and analyze it, you know, I just really fucking like this album. Not because it's a lot of fun with some really tight songwriting, like in songs Sea of Worry, Dracula Bells, and Trespassers W. No, what makes this album so interesting to me is the way it really successfully blends two worlds together. The world of more accessible post-punk and the world of inaccessible post-punk, shoegaze, whatever. It brings, you can still hear in the heart of this album, you're still getting the Death Consciousness vibes. This album, Sea of Worry, actually has a lot more influence from Death Consciousness than I would have expected, honestly. To the point where they're actually using songs that were demos from 2009, the Death Consciousness era, with songs like Destinos and Trespassers W, which came out back in 2009. They revived them, brought them back to life, and managed to make them cohesive in an album that also has a bunch of more accessible songs. It blends it together really nicely with great songwriting, fantastic production, ultimately making a very versatile album. If you like the more fun stuff and you also like the more doomy, gloomy stuff, you're gonna get the best of both worlds in this album. Really fantastic rock album. I'm giving it an 8 out of 10. I just love versatile albums that are really well put together, great production. The only flaws on this album I can think of would be not as ambitious and epic as Death Consciousness, but if that's your expectation, you're just not gonna like the album no matter what. There was one interlude track on this album I didn't really give a fuck about. You'll know when it comes to you. And the Destinos and as well as the Trespassers W songs on this album were frankly better in the 2009 version off their Voids compilation. But whatever. Congratulations, Have a Nice Life, for releasing another fantastic album 11 years after Death Consciousness. That's fantastic. You meant a lot to me in high school. You have a nice life. Congratulations. Punk Revolution. No!